Hi there, I'm Salim Ismail with Singularity University. I want to talk to you today about Call to Innovation, a new series of contests that we're doing around the world to find really the best students to come and participate in our graduate studies program for 2011. We did a pilot program with FIAP last year, which yielded in hundreds of projects being created in the local level or conceived down in Sao Paulo to surface a great student. And we're running this contest again with FIAP this year, and with many other countries around the world. We were so thrilled with the outcome. I want to talk about what we're looking to achieve. We're hoping to find a really great student who can think about how to leverage technology to address global challenges. We know from experience that if we don't solve global challenges like clean water or home energy or climate change, if we don't solve these problems with technology, then we often end up in war. And war is a very expensive way of progressing humanity. We found repeatedly in the past that technology is a very cheap way of progressing ourselves in civilization. So these contests are really about coming up with a really great idea about how to use technology to solve a pressing problem in your local environment, whether it's traffic problems, whether it's security issues in your country or your region, whether it's clean water. There are many new technologies today that are available that can be brought to bear on these types of problems, and the cost and barrier to entry is lower than it has ever been before. And we're very excited about that. Here's how it works. When you come to Singularity University, you get the opportunity to work on projects that would impact 1 billion people within 10 years. To win that opportunity, we'd like you to come up with an idea that will impact a few million people in your local area, and ideally start implementing it. Start really getting that project underway. And the contest and the judges will find the best ideas, and the winner will get to come to Singularity University for the summer. The types of solutions that we're looking for are innovative uses of technology in a very easy and simple way that, when combined together, create a dramatic new result. For example, could you use social networks and location-based systems to dramatically increase personal security in a dangerous area? That kind of thing. So we'd like to think about how can you get these technologies up and running and implemented. Many of us at Singularity University have experience with startups. I've done 7 of them. SU actually itself is a startup. We started in year 1 with nothing. With about 5 people on our core team, built it out. In year 2 was about 7 people, now it's about 9 people. And so really we understand the types of issues that need to be solved to really get a startup off the ground. The thing that excites me that didn't exist even 5 years ago is the cost and the barrier to entry of leveraging new technologies is lower than it's ever been before. And we think that that's an exciting time to be. The economy is in a little bit of trouble, and we found historically that that's the best time to start a company. Many of our global corporations around the world were started in the worst economic climate. So I encourage you to participate in this program. Come up with a really great idea and see how you can contribute to your local economy, local country, local region, your city, and solve a pressing problem in your area. And maybe you'll win the chance to come to Singularity U for the summer, where you can think about global issues and study with the top young thinkers and leaders of the next generation. I was asked the question from one of the FIAP readers of what do I think of entrepreneurship versus investment in today's climate. I think there's, as I mentioned before, it's an exciting time because the amount of money needed to start a new company or a new venture is lower than it's ever been before. Also, there's an enthusiasm and an openness in Brazil today that we've not seen before. One of the reasons that we've partnered with FIAP is that many of the country issues, clean water, deforestation, poverty, are microcosms of global challenges. If you can impact them and have an impact on those in Brazil, then those solutions can be impactful worldwide. Regarding raising funding, we think it's an easier time than ever before, and I think companies can get started with very little investment today, which wasn't the case even 5 years ago. So we tend to be very optimistic about how easy it is and how fundamental the ecosystem is being put in place to really kickstart a new generation of innovation in Brazil. We think the ecosystem exists today with new investors and new funds coming up all over the place, plus a climate of entrepreneurship, that it's easier than ever to start a business or start a company in Brazil today. Another question that was asked was, while there's all this technological innovation, can you do that at the same time as trying to solve pressing problems like sanitation and poverty and so on? And our answer to that is we have to use those technologies to address those problems. We think that these types of technologies today lend themselves to solving those problems in ways that you could never do before. whether it's using new types of biofilters for clean water or using 3D printing to do local fabrication. We have possibilities today that we never had before, and I think it's a very exciting time to be using technologies to address local problems. There's a question about whether co-creation and collaboration tools are necessary for innovation in today's environment, and I think they're absolutely critical. We've built SU up with 5 people in the first year and 7 or 8 people in the second year, and intense collaboration between us was critical to being able to achieve what we did with a very small footprint of people. We think these tools, it's not just necessary, but I think it enables you and leverages that every new person you bring on can have a much bigger impact than in even 5 years ago. So we think those types of tools are very critical for today's innovation environment. A question was asked whether it's possible to have innovation without entrepreneurship, or whether you need technology to address societal problems. And I think both innovation and technology are key pillars in entrepreneurship today. The reason is that when you're doing entrepreneurship, you're trying to find new ways of combining different systems to create value. Fundamentally, entrepreneurship is about taking a risk in a particular domain and adding much more value than existed before. Technology and innovation is really the only way of doing that. Historically, we found. Now that innovation can come at the technology level, it can come at the business level, it can come in the revenue model. There's numbers of layers at which you can have that type of innovation occur. But we think that technology and innovation are absolutely critical to entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is absolutely critical for societies in the future. Because with that thriving creativity being systematized into businesses and new structures, we won't progress as a civilization. The result that came out of these contests last year at FIAP was so overwhelming that I decided that this was one of the most important things that we could do at SU. As such, I'm focusing all my time in a new role of like a global ambassador to shepherd these contests around the world. And I'm really hoping that out of the 50 or 100 projects that come out of each country, that a few will get implemented that will make lasting change in that environment. And I think this is a hallmark for how we'll continue innovation in the future of the world. With that, I wish you the best of luck in creating a project that will really make a lasting impact in your city or your country. And I hope you win. I hope we see you here at Singularity University this summer.